Welcome to Global Presence Talks. My name is Tamiko Chambers. I'm actually part of Global Presence. And today we get to interview the head honcho, Mr. Jack Hakimian, the big cheese. How are you?
Doing good, Tamiko. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be interviewing you. It's a bit strange, but I like it. So first question, I would like you to tell us all about Global Presence. I know we do so much for so many people. So if you could just give a bit of an outline on that, would be great.
Absolutely. Well, wow, that's, when someone asks you questions that you know and think about all the time, it's sometimes very hard to answer. But yeah, I mean, Global Presence, ultimately we are a business and marketing development company agency. And we started, 2007 while I was at Fuller Seminary and graduate school, just helping churches and nonprofits with web designing. And from there, kind of evolved into getting involved in wanting to see their growth from, step one to step whatever, 2000. And I think ultimately, we just take great pride in journeying with people, startups, small businesses, mid-sized businesses. We work with businesses that gross, 20, $30 million per year. And it's really a relationship oriented company that, again, is just involved in looking at marketing and business development holistically, from everything from TikTok to SEO and integrations with CRMs. So you can manage all that data with leads and customers, drip campaigns, to actual design, content writing, to helping with the business plan of the company. So there's actual potential for investors, and the company itself knows the direction it's moving in.
Which is pretty much everything. So everything a entrepreneur, small business, large business will ever need. It's definitely full service. And I know that on a kind of personal level that you involve your family also. So can you speak about that, about why you have included family members in the company and what their positions are there?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, my wife is involved. She also works for another company as a trainer of trainers, dealing with everything from communication to leadership. And of course, she brings that into our company, especially on the back end behind the scenes. And of course, my son is involved. He is a Google AdWords certified marketer. So he manages ads, anywhere from $100 a month to $5,000 a month. And yeah, I mean, I have my sons doing stuff from data entry to learning some basics on how to use Photoshop and do designs for our clients. So yeah, it is a family affair, but outside of that, we also have a broader family of contractors and employees that are, I think, part of something that is in its still an infancy stage. I think we're yet to, ultimately come to maturity. We talk about young girls when they hit that age of where they're blossoming. I think we're getting there, but we still are kind of learning. And because the technology in the world is changing so fast, so we learn something new. There's a new platform, new algorithm, new technology. So yeah,
absolutely. And I think that again, because I've got a unique perspective on Global Presence, having worked within the organization, that I think you've got a beautiful balance of it being, yes, there's family involved, but it's not solely family. And from my perspective and working with you, I've become part of the family also. And I think all of us have, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but we do all have that feeling of being part of an organization. I just think that with that family base, it definitely helps. There's definitely a unity between us, and that we all kind of, with your leadership, we all kind of follow that same want to see clients grow. And then Global Presence does so much as well. So I don't think you will ever reach, that you would never arrive, because there is always so many changes. There is so much growth within Global Presence as well. We are always being trained on some kind of new platforms, new things. And so I think it just grows, and for the betterment of the clients. What made you start Global Presence? What would you say are the values of Global Presence?
Yeah. I think ultimately the values are connected to the motivation of starting the company. Obviously, at the end of the day, we all want to make money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So, and being in ministry for 20 something years, and I'm still in ministry. I'm still involved in a lot of counseling, and also being part of a micro church, which is really toned down. Not as production oriented and business oriented, which is really what at some point we realized that we love. And I think while I was in graduate school studying cross-cultural studies and what was happening internationally, me and my wife kind of developed what I would call a global mindset. Global meaning we understood that the globe is vast and there's incredible talented people all across the globe, but things happen locally in a very micro context, in communities where people are making ends meet. People are working hard. They're part of their local churches. And so having this global mindset, we realize like we can't just be part of people's lives spiritually, but we need to also help people materially and emotionally. And that's why we do a lot of counseling and we journey with people in the road to recovery and also management of anger, management of addictions, management of just negative thoughts. And all this stuff is interconnected. As you know, you're a very holistic oriented person. But then the financial part is very critical. So things happen locally on a micro level. They happen within human minds, human families, small businesses. Most of America is 95 or 96% small business. And that's really a global phenomena. It's people with 1 to 5 employees that are just really making this world turn. And that fascinates me because if I really want to help people and be part of that journey, then you got to take small business seriously. Nonprofit, scrappy nonprofit leaders. And so that passion to be part of the spiritual and holistic transformation of individuals on a local level is, I think, what inspired the company. Because at first we were just helping churches, and then it was like, and then small business owners in churches and people reaching out to us saying, hey, we need a web design. We got screwed over. Someone charges $4,000 for what should have been a $1,000 website, Right. And I think that kind of like passion for justice, which is equal balance, your labor, and some people can charge more because they're experts and they have a certain finesse and swag about what they do, and they do it very proficiently. But at the end of the day, you can't be charging people $1,000 an hour for 5 hours, and it was horrible at the end of the day. So I think those motivations, and that's why our first and primary value is to love our clients. And I think, like the Bible says, do unto others you would have them do unto you. You got to put yourself into other people's shoes and see yourself from the stakeholders' perspective, the CEO's perspective, that small restaurant owner's perspective, that executive director's perspective, who's running that nonprofit and trying to do donor development and raised $2,000 for 2020, but they're running a $50,000 operation. You saw when we were pastoring in the church in North Miami, struggle of fundraising. And eventually I had to just face myself and face even the values that I believed in, which is you could love people, but you also need to help them have a realistic business plan and what I would call grow their business in reality. And that's one of the values is reality-based partnerships. Like, what can we actually do in 6 months? We may not be able to get you 100 leads, but maybe we can get you 10. But those 10 leads are important. And those are 10 leads that you haven't been getting that we can help you. So
I think realistic is a big word, especially with marketing. Everything's being made right now to look, or I should say pre-COVID, being made to look everything's perfect and everyone's lives are perfect. And then obviously with COVID, we all got that reality check. And I think it's been the great leveling out. So so to speak, where it's like, no, we are real people, and holistically, we need to work holistically. We need to live holistically. Like you said, everything's kind of joined up. And I've obviously, again, knowing you through your ministry work and whatnot, it's really being on the grassroots and being realistic with everybody, being realistic with yourself, and knowing how we can all help one another. It's not holier than thou, so to speak. It's like, no, okay, we see, you've only got this amount for your budget. Okay, let's see what we can do. Something can always be done. And you're not trying to break people's banks and get the most out of them. It's like,
and I see that. I see that even in the way you operate. With a certain level of humility. And I think, again, like you said, like there's such a temptation to overbrand and to no longer manage your brand, which brand management is about authenticity. Once you begin to lie, you will get caught, you will get exposed. And I think, just being humble, being able to say, hey, I'm not feeling well, or I can't do this, and or I'm struggling, and not to say we always get it right, because sometimes all of us, I think, try to take on more than we can handle. But having that kind of working relationship, I think, is vital. And one of our values is, for example, we are fast in resolving technical issues, but we have a long game approach when it comes to marketing through platforms.
Right.
There is no gimmicky way. Like sometimes people come to us and they're desperate, right? They have a plumbing business, or they have some type of business, and they've been bleeding for months. And it's like, look, I want to hire you, pay you, $500,000 a month, and I need you to get me 50 leads through Facebook. And it's like, no, it's going to take 30 to 60, maybe 90 days to basically figure out
why you're bleeding. Can we stop the bleeding first?
Why you're bleeding, and then how are the fish in your area biting? Because that Facebook strategy may work in New York or California, but not in South Florida, where people's income level is significantly lower to the cost of living. And that's data, that's facts. Like people here have to work 2-3 jobs, unless you're a high level executive, work for the medical industry, something like that. And so they're not going to necessarily bite on your bait the first time, because they don't have disposable income. I mean, the disparity in South Florida is huge. The Miami Herald, a lot of people have done analysis. So you have to know that those low cost items will work on Facebook. $20 impulsive purchase, for a toy or for a makeup. But if you have a $300 item that you're trying to sell through Facebook, we may have to consult you and say, hey, you need a lower entry point. Maybe you need to do a subscription model where your item costs $400, but let people come in with an in-house lease or a bank lease at $50 a month. So that business development aspect is critical, where you're helping people rethink their business model, because the marketing gimmick isn't going to work. It's too high for South Florida.
It irritates me so much when, you see it all the time. Like, we can get you 100,000 followers in 2 months. Really? Can you? I mean, unless you're doing it with the bots or, whatever it may be.
Yeah, the fake Indian.
That's not organic. And that's
fake Indian Joe Johnson,
Yeah, you are selling false promises. And in the end, these poor companies and entrepreneurs are being bled dry. They, like you said, come to us as desperately, like, we need to have everything now. And it's like, well, can we, like I said before, can we stop the bleeding? Can we also look at what your brand essence is? Can we start there? Everything's all over the place, on your website, to your business cards, to what you're putting out on social media. Can we start there? Can we make it look cohesive? Can we just make sure that your logo doesn't look like it's from 1988? Can we start there? And, unfortunately, I do understand the desperateness, obviously, of not having, of needing that income now, needing those clients now. Completely get it. We all have bills to pay. But I like that Global Presence has that humble approach. They are also big thinkers, which I do attribute to you, because you are a big thinker, and you kind of see across the board, and you see the potential and growth in companies. and then we're all here kind of with that holistic mindset. We all work together as a team. You know, I know you always use your basketball analogies all the time on us. But it's true, you know, it's absolutely true. Where can people see you? How can they get in contact with you?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. They can go to our website, which is on the display, global pres or gp.marketing or globalpresence.org or globalpresence.enterprises. I mean, we have tons of globalpresence.network. They all come to the same place. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then they can set up an appointment. There's a schedule meeting link there on the website. You can see it here. If you see my mouse, they can schedule a meeting here. And basically, if they want a sales meeting, boom, they hit that, and it basically will take them to our calendar, and then they can set up a meeting with me on the website, or they can call, and one of our receptionists will forward to the sales department, and we will have the conversation. Now, if they want to get a hold of me personally, you can email me at jack@gp.marketing, jack@gp.marketing. And I will definitely respond back, give you a free consultation. And if you need help with social media consulting, and you would also like to do SEO, you can contact Tamiko also, as she works with the team.
Same name as me. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I've just seen that when you were showing the website that I want to talk about is the support aspect of it. So can we speak on, you know, once obviously the client has come in, we've able to identify the issues that they may be having in their company, or just the growth that they would like to see in their company. After they've signed on with Global Presence, can we talk a bit about the support that they get? Because I do think that it's vast and robust, and people can just know that they are supported all the time.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. When basically. We do provide 24-hour support, and you can see here, this is our support portal, and they're able to log in with their Facebook or Google account, and they're able to see all their tickets. Whenever they email support@gp.marketing, it associates with their account and creates a ticket, so they don't always have to log in. They're on vacation, they're shopping, suddenly they get an idea, they want to do some kind of social media project, they want to add a logo, they want to run a TikTok ad or something. Boom! All they got to do is email or log in, and they can track their projects right here. Usually, when someone is logged in, they'll see all the projects we're working on, how much time we're spending on those projects. They can see their invoices, and so and then of course they can always basically set up on our site. We have a link here that says they can fast track if they need something done immediately, or if they want to set up a remote support, there's a link right there, and we will set up a Zoom meeting and provide remote support to them. So we take support very seriously. We have a very low churn rate, that is a loss rate of clients. We do lose clients like every other company, and sometimes we do even drop the ball, and we make mistakes. Like sports, you will lose games, you will fumble. It is fixed, but it's how you deal with it. Do you grow? Do you let it discourage you? Do you let that loss define you? And we try not to. We try to, redeem our client company relationship. And many times we've had clients leave sometimes because there was miscommunication or we dropped the ball, and then they'll come back and be like, you know what? You guys were not actually that bad. And I went to other companies and they were flat out ignoring me. Not even responding to my emails, not answering my phone calls.
Right.
And because, we are a company where if something happened to me, I've divested the infrastructure in such a way that others can pick up the ball. Like our chief web developer, Powell, who plays a critical role in project management and making sure the nuts and bolts of people's sites and software is working. And then we have my son, we have other people, we have Tamiko, that deals with some client relationships, so that, again, you want to think in terms of can we be around if there's a hurricane for our clients, or if something happens to one individual. And that's one of the things that, again, making sure we're sustainable through thick and thin, through the storms, so that our clients aren't left hanging with the support issues that they need.
I think it's a beautiful balance between a corporate mindset and that personal relationship, to be honest, because it does have both. It's like we can take care of those, big corporate, whatever it may be, issues that you may be having, or maybe projects and things that you need to develop. But at the same time, if you are having, not that you're a therapist, but if there are like personal issues whereby, somehow the client needs business support in some way, we can also help you with that. And there is always somebody around that you can contact, and I think that speaks volumes, because that is not always the way. And then speaking on what you were talking about with being humble and realistic about things, and being honest about, sometimes the ball does get dropped, but it's how you recover, and being honest about it. Some companies I know through experience would just blame the client solely, and nobody's perfect. And again, just having that humbleness and realistic approach speaks volumes. So
Absolutely.
I think it's great. Well, is there any, actually, one thing I wanted to ask you, are there any clients at the moment that you want to highlight that you're super excited about, or any projects that are in the pipeline that you can speak on?
Almost all of them. But there is one particularly that just he's actually an old client, and he actually has worked with us. He's actually a white label partner too. Mm-hmm. But he has a new company, and it's a cryptocurrency company, and crypto, and then he's going to be focusing on basically hosting crypto mining. There's a lot of virtual mining out there, mm-hmm. but this is going to be actual mining rigs that people can buy or lease. Mm-hmm. And of course, with mining, you make money as you're mining for crypto, but it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time. So I'm excited about everything that we're going to be doing with this project, from CRM development, management, integration with the website, SEO, social media. Mm-hmm. They haven't even launched, and they already have probably $1 million worth of investors waiting, chomping at the bits to jump on board. Because as you know,
it's a hot thing right now.
Yeah, crypto will be the main currency mm-hmm. that the globe will use, apart mm-hmm. from those governments that try to block it because they can't control it. Because people are sick of, getting their money taken away from the IRS and all this kind of stuff. With crypto, you can't, people's money is basically private. It's very hard to track. And basically it's fast, and it brings people out of poverty, no longer like corrupt government leaders and people who run the ports and control export and import. Hey, if I want it, I can get the money to you.
Yes.
So that's exciting, because I think it's gonna actually deal with the issue of control and corruption. And again, we're a social enterprise, so we are all about, hey, can we make money and do good in the process? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that client, but really I'm excited about all of them. Yeah. Anyone that deals with clients that deal with, I got a lot of healthcare clients that are dealing with real issues, people with COVID, and I'm excited about what they're doing and how they need to market and manage their business for patients, and we maintain HIPAA compliance and ADA compliance, make sure that they don't get into any trouble with mm-hmm. data and things are encrypted properly. But yeah, it's very exciting when you're involved in people's journey to do good on a local village level, and that's what's exciting about what we do.
You know what just hit me? I think that our clients, they're all very passionate about what they do. They're not into messing people around. They really are, like you just said, like wanting to do good. And in different industries, not necessarily just the healthcare industry. And we know that right now, our people working in healthcare are just heroes right now. Yeah. They really, they always have been, but it's highlighted even more now. But it really is an honor to support them through this time. But I really feel that all of our clients they're fantastic. And I'm not just saying that, like, they really are really good. Like, they're really passionate about what they do, and they really do want to serve. It's an honor to support people like that, because not everyone's like that.
It is. It is. And it's an honor to have people like you on the team
Oh,
working together as a family. And you know, even this show right now, we're doing this so that we can add value and just even give a little bit of stuff we've learned the hard way and the good way, so that others can be encouraged, inspired, and maybe it will speak to them with a particular issue they're going through right now. So I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
It'll be a blessing. Well, thank you so much for your time, my dear. I know you're super, super busy. And maybe we'll have another chat in the future. And thank you to everyone for watching. If you have any questions, again, you can go to get all the W's, gp.marketing, and you'll find all the contact information there. And hopefully we may be working together soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.